ladies and gentlemen of the family here at Gojira, we have a very, very, very special and unique project in the house today to give us a rundown and to kind of get us inside the mind of one of the most innovative and interesting projects out there right now. And I would be hard pressed to find a project that's even holds a candle to like how interesting and different this project is. And today we are lucky enough to have the head of operations here of Satoshi Island to give us the full rundown. Um, I mean, where do we begin with this? Honestly, it's just like so amazing what you guys are trying to accomplish or have already accomplished. Here at my AMAs, I like to just have you kind of do a little bit of an elevator pitch to give us a full rundown and kind of, make us bullish on your project. Give us the cool points and give us the full rundown and let us know exactly what Satoshi Island is all about.
Thank you very much. It is my absolute pleasure being here. I love what your community is all about. I really do. And in essence, this is what Satoshi Island is all about. Satoshi Island is about that crypto community, getting them all together in one space and creating this friendly jurisdiction, this friendly city for all of our communities in space to come together and really not be ridiculed and be able to be comfortable in our own environment and be surrounded by everyone else who's enthusiast in the space, who is a professional in the space, whatever it is that you love about our industry. And that's exactly how the entire dream has begun. When the team first got together and we started discussing about a possibility of our own place, which will allows us all those things that I've just mentioned. We started looking for the jurisdictions that would make it possible. And Vanuatu just happened to be one of those jurisdictions that we were doing our DD on and happened to be perfect. The government of Vanuatu was very open to the blockchain technology and to crypto as a whole. And more so, we managed to find this gorgeous, gorgeous island that we acquired that, again, we're able to utilize to create exactly it is that what we want to set out and achieve. So back to sort of Vanuatu as well, when you're building a crypto city, there's a lot of elements that need to be ticked off. And one of those elements was, of course, a tax-free territory. And Vanuatu is exactly that. It has no tax, no corporate tax, no personal income tax. In fact, no tax of any nature. They make their money through import tax only. And again, that was just another box that was ticked for Satoshi Island. And that's exactly how it started. That was the dream. The pipe dream was, a crypto city for us. Somewhere we can hang out together and drink coffee together and discuss and debate everything crypto. And it just happens to be on a private island in Vanuatu.
Wow. It's absolutely impressive what you guys are doing here. So like what kind of like what's the passion and what's the kind of the behind story of like why you guys decided to do something like this? Because I mean, you're looking at, minting NFTs and you're thinking about profile pictures and, P2E games and staking and tokenomics, and then here Satoshi Island comes and it's Satoshi Island. So I'd love to hear more
Yeah,
about that.
absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Well, we were actually one of the first to look into the NFT technology before the profile pictures and before everything that's happening with that sector now. So we actually started on this project 5 years ago. And the reason it took us this long to come out public is, I suppose, is very obvious. We wanted to make sure that the foundation is absolutely perfect. There was no point for us to come out and introduce the project of this magnitude without knowing for a fact to ourselves that it's achievable, right? So in actual fact, as we were putting together the project, the NFT, sector kicked off and started doing its crazy things. And all it did was just give us a bit more confidence that people will accept this technology. Obviously, it wasn't, even at the time, the NFTs that had amazing utilities, obviously survived and are still thriving and have thriving communities behind them, right? And that's essentially how it happened for us. We looked at ourselves. We didn't look at ourselves as an NFT project as such. We looked at ourselves as a crypto project, a developer project where our real estate, our land, is going to be represented by NFTs. And of course, as that technology started booming, it made even more and more clear to us that this is the perfect way to go as far as representing digital ownership is concerned.
Wow, it's really cool. So like I'm over here. I don't know if you can see my screen as well, but it's talking
Yep.
about different the land collections. Like how's that going to work? Does that have to do with like rarity and like how expensive things are, or is just that's just how the island's broken up?
And it comes back down to, it comes back down to that confusion, I suppose. Well, are you guys an NFT project? And if you are, then can we discuss, traits and rarities and etc. and things like that? And in a sense, we looked at that and we thought, well, in a way, I mean, it would work like that, exactly the same way, because you will look at a block, at this island that we own, and you know, there will be traits. Whether those traits, obviously, if you look at the south wing right now, you'll see that there's properties that are on the water. And then if you look at the north, on the North Cliff, for example, or even South Cliff, then you're going to have some properties that are on the edge of the cliff, or not, or the closest to the cliff, so you have the view towards the ocean. So in essence, it's exactly what's happening. In essence, those are going to be traits. And some of those traits are going to be more rare than others because you won't have as many of those land blocks as everything else around the island. So it actually just happens to work exactly that way. And what we're doing is, when you buy land, then you'll be able to pick yourself a block based on the traits that you receive once you mint, and gives you that familiarity with all the other NFT projects. But stripping it back down is, we are still selling real estate. Ultimately, the goal is to build a city where people can come and have perhaps a holiday house, or maybe a satellite office, or a permanent office where they send some of their employees to work from the island a couple of times a year, or maybe they can run some sort of competition where their employees, based on performance, head over and work from it. But as any other city, Satoshi Island is going to have all the amenities available on the island, such as cafes, restaurants, entertainment, and other activities as well, and even clubbing. We are in chats with party degenerates to come and set up a nightclub and utilize their DJs to come and do some parties for us as well. I still have everybody.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So can you hear me? So
Yeah,
I was gonna
absolutely.
say
So as we're
yeah.
just going through, yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, off this, because like you were talking about the different possibilities of things you could do on the different blocks. I was just curious, in your grand vision, your dream, I guess, so to speak, like what would this place like go to look like? You know what I mean? Like what would, like if you were like doing it, if everything played out exactly like how would Satoshi Island be like? Like, if you people mint these things, you have like a sustaining economy, and or like, what is your like what do you would you like to turn into in the end?
Yeah, so the grander vision is that it is decided. So the grander vision is that the vision is decided by the people, by the community. We do have, as any other normal city, we do have areas where it's only residential versus areas where it's only commercial versus areas where you would have a little bit of a mixed use. And again, it adds that element to different traits to your land NFTs, which could be valuable more so than your regular. Like, for example, if you happen to mint an NFT which has a trait of commercial slash residential trait, then obviously I suppose it would be have a little bit more of a value. But at the end of the day, value for us is not the vision. This is for the community to decide. You are buying into real, you're tying up your crypto, your ETH in real land, and this is the vision. This is the beauty about this project. You don't have to worry about the floor of your NFT, because the floor of your NFT is going to be based on the land that is, the minimum price for the land that you can get in Vanuatu, for example. So I would assume you would never get anything lower than that. But as far as that excitement of NFT trading is concerned, and you have this on your screen now, what we've done, we've further gone into fractionalizing a full block of land into 10 mini land NFTs. And those are essentially a 1 of 10 of the land. And you can't really do anything with it until you get together with 9 other holders and put together a block. But it does give you that opportunity, depending on what trade you get, to go and perhaps trade with somebody else, who sees more value in it. So there's still that opportunity for you exist, to use that side of NFT trading side of things.
All right. So what we're looking at right now on my screen, you collect all 10 to own the whole block. Is it possible to mint a whole block, or is that just you just kind of have to collect the 10 and be lucky to find someone who owns, those 10 if you wanted to get that entire block?
You will be able to mint as many as you want. There's absolutely no limit how many you're minting. And in actual fact, because it is important for us to make sure that we attract builders and we attract the right partners, the partners who are sharing our vision and want to come with us to the island and build. We are a developer, and we have completed all the all the foundation that is required. We've been working on this project for 5 years. We have the electricity connection here. We have the water and sewage and wastewater connections here, all completed. Obviously, internet connection here is done. All those systems have already been put in place, and that system is going to be scaled based on the uptake of our land. So now we're selling our land NFTs. And anybody who buys 10 or more, so let's stick to 10. We would essentially be giving them a better price. So if you're buying a single NFT, it will set you back one ETH 55. But if you're buying 10 NFTs in one go, and this will be done through the land offering system that we're gonna share all the information with everybody very shortly, you actually get them for 11 ETH in total. In essence, giving you each NFT only worth 1.1 ETH. And furthermore, if you go and buy more than 10, if you buy 20, say you're looking for 2 blocks, we further discount it to 1 ETH per NFT. So it's almost like a wholesale situation where retail price of a single NFT is 1 ETH 55, but if you're buying bulk, you get a nice discount. And we want to encourage that because, like I said just before, we're really looking at builders, at partners who are looking to develop the city with us.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Trying to make sure you're attracting, builders. You're not just like, people minting this and just holding it in their wallet, and then you have entire blocks that are just like have nothing built on there. How do you prevent, or like, is it? I mean, it's inevitable that that could potentially happen, correct?
But yeah, absolutely, that could potentially happen. We don't have no obligations. We don't make anybody do what they don't want to do. We will continue to maintain the land that people own, to maintain it as we go into the future of this island. It's completely out of our hands. We're trying to obviously connect with the right individuals who see the vision and who will build. But ultimately, it is in our hands. We will do to further encourage this. We are going to be building our own, and that's going to be done immediately after the land sale, successful land sale is complete. And at the very, very worst, we are super confident that once we have 50 of our own houses built on the island, and we invite 50 prominent VIP figures to, in the crypto space to come and visit for a short term and stay here and bring their entourage with them, everybody would want to build as well. So we're confident that it's going to happen.
Gotcha. So like, but if I were to mint 10, like, straight up, am I guaranteed that those are going to be all in the same block?
Guaranteed, yes.
Okay,
So
okay.
when you mint, when you mint multiple, whether it's 10 or even 3, you're guaranteed to have all 3 in the same block.
It's very interesting. So what kind of like infrastructure is already set up on there? Is there like roads, like there's running water and electricity and all that stuff? Like, what's the time frame on this kind of, kind of a build? If you were to put something there, can you build your own stuff? Like you can bring your own architect in, or is there kind of like something that you guys have that's part of like a package where you can get something like kind of what's on the screen right there, something that's kind of like modeled somewhat after that?
Yeah, so the only condition, the only sort of bylaw as far as owning land, having an exclusive right and owning land to the block on Satoshi Island is exactly that. We want to make sure that all the building is done by our team
Right.
because we've done the research. We know exactly what the geological requirements of the island building is like. And also, it will keep a very nice uniformity of the entire land. So, in actual fact, it is a package deal where you do pay extra for the houses that you want to build, and you have lots of options. Those are extremely versatile, but we do all that for you. So, infrastructure, connection to the utilities, building the roads is all done by the company, and you simply pick what kind of house you want out of those modules. And like I said before, they're super versatile. If we can, if you're able to grab some pictures up, jump on our Instagram, have a look at some of the options that we've rendered before. There's so many different options that you can put them together. So have a look at that. So you've got this is your sort of basic 3 modular house that you have very nice living area upstairs and a beautiful lounging area, maybe even an extra room downstairs. So lots of options, very versatile. It is also almost like a true tech company. It is also very upgradable. So if you start, for example, on the bottom 2, or even a single one on the bottom, which is totally comfortable, completely livable, you can add and expand and upgrade your house as you please or as finances allows you. That's actually a very cool feature. So this would be, I'm looking at this house. This is going to be my house. I might put the top module on an angle, but that's what I'm looking at. I think it's a perfect sort of living space for myself. You have huge space downstairs as your living area, the bathroom, the kitchen, etc., and then your living quarters are upstairs. Don't be scared about not having curtains. It's totally optional. You can or you don't have to. It's up to you.
So this one right here that we're looking at, it looks like it's, in a little wooded area by itself. I mean, is this just kind of like a presentation of it? Because I mean, like you were saying, is they're blocks of 10 sold
It's
together, so you can't really
yeah,
be private like
it's
that.
just a rendered presentation.
Gotcha.
So the privacy would be fencing around your property.
And this is
Uh,
one.
these are these are
Yeah, go ahead.
These are the smaller short stay accommodation modules. This is something that we're going to be doing as a company, and this is what we're talking about when I say we're going to commission some of our own and get visitors coming in. So those are slightly smaller than your bigger option, and will act more like a hotel room for short stay accommodation.
And that's just something that you like rent out, and that has nothing to do with like, being a part of this, like the NFT or the mint.
You can absolutely utilize it as your business model. So, say you're buying a block of land
Yeah.
on Satoshi Island, and your vision is to rent out your house. And say for example, one block probably can fit 3 of those. And if you want to create that kind of sort of Airbnb style short stay accommodation, it's totally up to you as long as you have the space to do it. This is more of your apartment look. So this is if you combine 2 or 3 blocks of land together, you have an opportunity to build apartments again as an investment purpose, where you rent those out to visitors or those who are curious about Satoshi Island, or those who are coming, to do some work. There's plenty of options. So a big business model for us is to make sure that we are the crypto capital of the world. What does that mean? Well, it means that any of the best known events to do with crypto and Bitcoin, conferences to do with crypto, Bitcoin, NFTs, we would be seeking to run on Satoshi Island. And obviously, as we book those events, then the demand for the accommodation increases, and the owners are able to get their ROI in that fashion.
Right. So in this picture, we're looking at, like six like livable like areas. Is this six land or is this two land because they're stacked?
That would be two land.
Okay, that's two land. So how high is like can you stack? Because that seems a pretty cool way to like utilize it. You have.
At, the, at this stage, we are 100% confirmed to be able to stack three high. We would need to do engineering testing, and in some areas there will be an option to stack four high.
And so just okay, cool. So like, and then looking at this, you can make your three stack however you want. This is just like a rendering, correct?
Exactly right. You can also have them back to back as long as you have obviously access. So you can essentially have six on a single block of land. So this is a grander design. This is an apartment design. This is would go over four blocks, and you have a courtyard in the middle, and obviously you have your apartments facing out. You could have them a little bit closer. You could actually comfortably fit six on a single block. They'll just be slightly closer. You'll still have your courtyard in the middle, but then have everyone share it as an apartment style, as an apartment complex style. So there's lots of options, and all these options are readily available for owners of land, full blocks of land.
Very interesting. Do you have any of pictures of like the stuff actually not as a render, but like actually like a real thing that you've created?
We have on our Twitter, we have a module being installed in Hong Kong. So one of those modules is actually being installed in Hong Kong. So if you jump on our Twitter, it's somewhere earlier in the piece when we started the project. We were installing one of the modules. It's almost exactly the same, minus, well, it's actually exactly the same. It's obviously was designed for the Hong Kong environment. Our modules are designed for Satoshi Island, Vanuatu environment. And you can see it being installed. And there's also one in our factory that we're building as well, as an example. Yeah, lots of keep on going. You won't miss it. Keep on going down.
Hmm.
It's
Hey,
way
I know that
way
guy.
way down. Where yeah, that's the guy. Yeah. So that's just a render. Keep on going down. That's more renders. Look at those beautiful renders. We
Mm-hmm.
have we had lots of interest. We had some setups in Dubai to promote our project. We had lots of media interest. We have lots of documentation from the Prime Minister, from Minister of Finance. Keep on going
So
down.
while I'm scrolling here, can you
Um,
talk about some like like pricing options, like how for to
yeah,
be able to build your little module, like how much is one like little module
yeah.
cost and
Each module, each big module, the small module, here we go. That's the module in the factory. So the small module, which is the half that size, is going to be 60,000 USD, and it will come. The price will include installation, connection to utilities, preparation of the land for installation, delivery, and also furniture. The price for a big module is 90,000 USD and includes all of those things as well. Additional modules, I don't have the exact price yet, but obviously they're going to be cheaper than the 90,000 because obviously you don't need extra furniture and things like that. All those prices, we don't have exact prices because we own the factory, which means that if we have uptake of modules to the full capacity of our factory, that means the material that we buy is in bulk and we can reduce those prices, because obviously this is not our business model. We don't make a margin on our modules. We want to flog them off at cost price.
An
So full
800-acre
pricing
private
structure will be announced as soon as we understand the uptake
to
of the
be the first
modules themselves.
so this video right here at the beginning of this is actually the stuff like like for instance, what building are you shooting from right now? Are we talking to you
Yeah,
from?
so if you look at the right-hand side, not the very last roof, but the second last roof, that's my office space.
It's your office? Do you live in one of these other ones right now?
I I live in the one on the left-hand side. So if you look at the very one at the very end on the left, I'm at the one that is closer to the office because it's way too far to walk. I'm lazy.
Lazy in paradise, baby.
Like, that's it. I'm not here to exercise. I've got work to do. I can't waste that. So yeah, so my living quarters is on the left hand side, the second last on the left hand side, and my office is on the right hand side, And all the other ones are obviously staff quarters and extra beds and stuff like that. The whole area is going to be changed to like a check-in area where people will be arriving on, we'll have a jetty in front of there. And this is going to be like your entry level into your entire island. This is where the ferry is going to bring you, and you'll check in with your citizenship NFT. Obviously, it's going to be locked up for you, so you can't send it to somebody else, so somebody else can just arrive on the same NFT. And obviously, we'll be able to check that you have, whether you're coming for a day trip or whether you have accommodation booked, all through there. So you look at it almost like a gated community, and this is the welcoming committee for you. This area. So we're keeping it as is. We're not going to change it in any way. It's going to be as it is now.
So what we're looking at here, these like, I mean, you say there's, I mean, what's like, I mean, there's a supply, right? Because you can only, you know, populate this island so much, correct? And how much is that? Like, what's full capacity to a point where, people are still
We're,
enjoying
we're
themselves?
clearing. Yeah, we're clearing about 15% of the island, and it's going to be a lot of the greenery that you see straight ahead, although it looks fat, it's actually on the side of the cliff. That will
Hmm.
be staying as is. Left and right hand side is going to be cleared where it has to be cleared to facilitate the modular architecture. There's very nice nature walks far right and far left, which will be staying as is, of course. And there's lots of nature, which we're planning to design like a beautiful walk around the island. So lots of nature in the back of the island as well, which is also just cliffs and trees and beautiful stuff like that as well. So the clearing is going to be very strategic. We're very conscious about keeping this beautiful look of the island, and a lot of the greenery that you see straightforward is going to stay. Only the tops are going to be cleared. Only some of the areas on the right are going to be cleared, and the rest of the nature walks, which I'm going to actually take and have to take some footage of, are going to be left as is. And that's where all the beautiful nature happens, and there's beautiful birds sing. And yeah, if you jump on my Instagram and have a look at some of my highlights, I think I had a beautiful highlight of nature on the left hand side. So that's just me sitting in the backyard enjoying the beautiful sunset. But if you go further to the keep on, that's just me enjoying my dinner. And so that's all stay. So there we go. You had it. Go back just before. So that all that nature is going to stay, and that's how it's going to be. And it's beautiful, and it's vast, and it's green, and it's deep. And that's what that's going to be, that's the beauty that we're going to preserve of the island. Those nature walks and things like that all stay.
So like the NFT project, like as Satoshi Island, such as like yourself and the team there, what are you guys going to be providing, to the people that are actually like residents there? Is there going to be, are you ever going to have any restaurants? Are you going to have like a grocery store? Are you going to have, attractions? Like, is there going to be a place you can go, a tour through the jungle and whatnot, or take people out on fishing trips or anything like that?
Yeah, spot on. So if you go and visit any other city anywhere in the world, whether as a tourist destination or whether we're somewhere where you live, like for example, I'm from Australia, and if you go to Sydney, there's all those tour adventures available for you, and we're going to be doing exactly that. So exactly everything that you just mentioned. Of course, we're going to have restaurants and cafes for people to hang out at. Of course, we're going to have a central food distribution facility available for people to get food and do their own cooking in their own modules. Now, as far as and I'm speculating here, but as far as distribution facilities are concerned, we're going to be looking at technologies of doing maybe drone deliveries or automated vehicle deliveries, things of that nature, because we are at the end of the day a high-tech project. So, but all those are going to be logistically, all that is already set up. The central facility that's going to be distributing food and other goods is going to be looked after professionals, and obviously they're going to make sure that all the food is always stocked up and never runs out. But also, if there's demand for some, for example, we are inviting and introducing this high tech sort of industry. So we assume that people are going to come with technology and gadgets and stuff like that. So all those things we will be able to have in our central facility distribution. Whether they're spare parts or whatever, we have the ability to to stock all that stuff for people to be able to get things that they need immediately. DHL delivers here. DHL delivers here often, and obviously, as the population grows, I'm sure that we can create a partnership with DHL, to bring things for us as our community requires.
So what I'm scrolling over right now is this the team that we're looking at right here?
Yeah, that's the team. That's just our PR company, so they're not really part of the team as such.
Okay.
But Daniel's is our, so starting with Daniel after Bospa. Daniel is our on the grounds team. He's been in Vanuatu for over 12 years, and he's responsible for all the dealings that we have here locally. And he's also the support for anybody who's interested in a more of a permanent stay as far as Vanuatu is concerned. So he'll be able to connect you guys with all the right systems and people. If you're interested in a second passport, or if you're interested in permanent residency, or if you're interested in setting up an international entity in Vanuatu, he'll be helping with all that. James Law is our most important team member. He's our chief architect, and he's the guy who designs the city and designs those modules, and looks after how the roads are going to go from town to town, stuff like that. So he is amazing. He's a great architect. He's very techy, very open-minded as far as the crypto industry is concerned. He was very easy to hire, very easy to get on the team, and he's super pumped because his ethos is like sustainability and future development. So he was super excited to be part of building the future.
Oh yeah, that's really cool. I mean, it's definitely very interesting. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have questions just like myself. I'm another one I'm kind of going off of, like, when you were saying how you didn't want to have to walk far. Like, how does transportation work from getting from one side to the other? Because I would assume there's not just like cars all over there. It's got to be a real pain to bring cars over, right?
There will be no cars. Don't forget, we are completely 100% sustainable. So there will be no fossil fuel burning whatsoever. We're looking at electrical vehicles. Of course, base case scenario is if we do some sort of deal with Tesla and they create some sort of vehicles for us, those vehicles are definitely going to be a community shared vehicles, so to speak. Kind of like your
This
e-bikes that you find in the city.
I ever tell you about that island project, the Satoshi Island?
Oh, hold on.
Where
I
they bought this
hop.
island
Gotta hop my.
pretty close to Fiji, and
That's my job.
Yeah.
That's my job to do
I
to
got you.
explain
I
what
got
it
you
is.
though. Yeah. Came out there really
Yeah.
crisp,
So
like it
so
was from a movie
basically,
or something.
yes. So we were also looking at, I believe they're called Tweezies. I think they're vehicles in Bermuda. This really cool two main vehicles that are electric. Um, Initially, straight away, it's gonna be golf carts, but we're definitely looking at something way more techier than just a golf cart. Something really cool and really special for the community. And there will be a lot of vehicles for each of the towns, for people to jump in, go over. And of course, as far as the future is concerned, the future is definitely about automated vehicles. We're definitely going to be looking into setting up an automated system where a vehicle takes you from A to B, and it's completely driverless.
Wow. That's it's really interesting. Not only is it, at a crypto island as you might call it, but also the sustainability and all that stuff. There's just so many layers to like how interesting and unique and different this island is from pretty much any other island. I mean, I don't know if
Well,
I.
we're building the future. So it was
Yeah.
important for us to be super sustainable. We're shooting for 100%. Of course, we didn't use any tools to measure our sustainability yet, but we're shooting for 100%. As far as waste is concerned, we're going to be extremely conscious. Stuff like complete ban of plastics and things like that. And we believe that at the end of the day, the community decides, right? It's a community project. So we believe that a community is going to be all over it. The fact that we're building and looking after the future. And in essence, is going to be the blueprint for any other country in the world to utilize the same system, the same way of building, and do it the same way in their jurisdiction.
All right. Well, so let me ask a couple questions that I was thinking of while we were going through the presentation, and some people may have asked them. But I was curious, when we were touching on the team, what nowadays, it's like you can almost never do anything in the NFT space like without being kind of doxxed somewhat, because it's been a lot of rug pulls and a lot of red flags that come up when people don't say who they are. I see that your team is doxxed here. We were looking at the pictures on Instagram, but what has this team done like beforehand? Like what have you done, and like what have you guys gotten your hands on that like will make us, or like someone who's out there thinking about wanting to invest in this, why would I want to like support you? Like what's going to tell me that you guys are going to be able to carry out such a like an expansive and like you know full like roadmap such as this? Like literally not even most of the stuff is on the digital, and here you are like actually doing the physical. So I was just curious about like what everyone's previous experience that's on the team like leads us to believe that you guys will actually be able to pull this off.
Yeah, so my job is logistics and operations, and I've got vast experience when it comes to managing projects of any scale, and this is no different to that. I've worked for some very wealthy individuals, and I did a lot of work in crypto space, including my own projects and my own ideas. I'm a little bit of a tech entrepreneur, and I've traveled the world, and I sold lots of tech of my own that I've done before. So as far as project management is concerned, I'm definitely completely and utterly up to the standard. And if I wasn't so, I wouldn't have been hired, I suppose, to lead, or chosen, not hired, chosen, because that's how it happened, to lead this massive mental project. But of course, that's where James comes in. James is an experienced architect, many years of building cities, organizing, and architecturally designing cities as well. And I'm not the one who's going to be digging, doing the civil engineering. We will be hiring a team, to do all the designs and all the obviously engineering side of things. So again, it's a catch-22 in essence. We can't really go off and start hiring civil engineering firms now without knowing exactly what the demand is. But that's going to be another obviously confidence booster for the community as we start bringing in these teams of experts, and as we start acquiring the equipment and the man labor that we need to make this project happen. At the end of the day, it's about capital. Once we have capital, we can start easily and comfortably making relationships with people who have great technological advances, to help us with continuously being what we promise to be, and that's sustainable and stuff of that nature. So the team is very experienced. We've done lots of work. We are business people here, and right now, and it's sort of the indication is right there. So look, for example, we are not going to be taking anyone's money. There's going to be a system where everyone's making an offer for the land that they want to buy, and unless we're confident that we have enough capital to take this development over the line, and at the end of the day, that's what it comes back down to. The team has the experience to execute, but now we need the capital to take it to the next level. And it just shows the kind of project that we are. We're not interested in just minting and going on with it. We are making sure everything is done. We calculate everything properly. We look after the community. If we have enough interest, if there's enough offers to take us over the line towards the next phase of the project, the development, we're going ahead. If we don't reach that number, then we'll simply step back and reassess what we do. We're all about the community. We need the community behind us for this project. And if there's not enough interest, we will just reassess our situation. We'll not be taking anyone's money.
Absolutely. So like when when you buy the NFT and you buy your module and all that kind of stuff, like how does the whole utilities like factor in, like sewer and water, electric and all of that? Is there you get hooked up with all those things when you buy a module, or do you have to pay something? And I mean, most people are not going to be living here probably year round, I would say. So are you like, how does that all work?
So the modules are all hooked up and connected, and that's including in the price. So when you buy your module, the price that's included in the module includes so each area, the ones you guys saw before, the island is divided into different areas. Each area is going to have its own centralized electric grid, and the modules will also have their own battery for storage as well. Each module will have a solar panel on it, and all the collection of all that energy is going to go into that central electrical grid, and then obviously go out to everyone else. Which means that if there is a module that is not being used, then it doesn't matter. It's still sitting there, it's still connected. But in actual fact, we're utilizing the collection of electricity from that module to share with everybody else. And yeah, that's how it's going to work. As far as the connection to sewage and water is concerned, it's very simple. You just simply turn off the tap. There is no waste while the person is away. And of course, we're going to have systems, where people come and maintain your land for you when you are away from your module, from your home, and all that's going to be logistically and strategically planned out with the owner.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm trying to go through some more of these questions that I'm seeing here. Let's see. What about like, I mean, definitely a question that everyone's kind of wondering about is, like security and being safe and all that kind of stuff. Like, how is there gonna be anything like that?
Yeah, so we'll definitely be having private security on the island, helping the community. Think of it as a campus, right? So the entire island is like one big campus, if that sort of helps. We will have security forces privately, wandering around the island, helping the community in case anybody needs support or help with anything. And we'll also be getting help from Vanuatu police. They'll also be coming in and patrolling and monitoring every now and then as well.
Okay, yeah. Because yeah, that definitely seems like something, you're like, oh, it's an island, just like with a bunch of people on there, and how's it gonna be, policed, so to speak, and whatnot to make sure that people aren't there just, doing illegal things and all that kind of stuff. Because I mean, it is it's part of Vanuatu, but like, still it's an island that's kind of like, I doubt that the people, the residents over there, they can't just come over to Satoshi Island and just like do whatever, correct? Because you have to fly into
Oh,
Vanuatu first.
yeah, you're not going to just take a boat or swim there, definitely. I thought about swimming. I had a look. No chance. I'm going to drown, 100%. But yeah, we will definitely have, we definitely have people monitoring and, 24-hour security, making sure that, of course, that's important to make sure that the community is safe from things like that. And regardless, if it doesn't happen, the security is there to support or help in any way they can. The local community in Vanuatu, the people are beautiful and generous, and there is no issues. The crime in Vanuatu is non-existent. The people are just way too beautiful. So there's no issue as far as that is concerned. But regardless, we will still make sure that we have 24-hour private security present to help the community with anything that they might need, whatever it may be. Hopefully not serious issues like theft and some community members that are not behaving properly, but more, in the facts of other help that anybody might need with, maybe whatever it may be, but definitely very important for us to have both the private security force, but also the support of Vanuatu police every now and then coming around, saying hello, making relationships with our community, in that way.
Alright, I gotcha. That's definitely really interesting, and it's good to know that I mean, obviously it's something that you definitely had to, think about before doing this because it's probably top priority. But someone was curious about the legal.
Well,
Go ahead.
yes, hold on. It sounds like a good question, but I just want to add to that because it's kind of relevant. The same thing will happen as far as medical side of things is concerned. We will have medical centers on the island for for your minor instances, but as far as the major situations are concerned, we're going to have a quick response team, and we're going to be investing heavily in the mainland hospital to make sure that its facilities are up to standard of our community as well.
Absolutely. So like back to the safety question, not just like with like, other people that are coming to the island and staying on the island, but what about with weather and wildlife? Have you like thought about that? Have you checked to see, like, I mean, you can't really dictate what animals are on and around the island, but like, how safe is it to be on there? Like if you could you just be sleeping outside your module in the middle of the night and, be safe?
And a wolf attacks you. Yeah,
Yeah,
and a
yeah,
wolf attacks you.
yeah, or something. Yeah,
So
lion.
Vanuatu doesn't. Yes, so Vanuatu doesn't have doesn't have any dangerous animals, land, or any dangerous amphibians or any dangerous snakes. The most dangerous animal the Vanuatu has is a coconut crab, and those. And can you please put it up on Google Images? And those things are scary looking. I mean, they're dangerous because they're scary looking. They're not going to do anything. They're slow, but yeah, they just. I mean, when I was telling my sister about, and this is, and don't be afraid, guys. This is the biggest one that you will ever find. Like those are adults. They keep to themselves. They are not really interested in. I believe I have a little coconut crab in my Instagram that I found on the island, which was beautiful little thing. But this is the scariest thing about Vanuatu. The look of these coconut crabs.
This crab is attacking a bird.
It's ridiculous, but it's very rare that you find one this huge. They keep to themselves. They literally, I'm sure that wasn't in Vanuatu. That's your most scariest looking animal, and it's not dangerous in any way. It's just scary looking. Everything else is fine about Vanuatu. There is no dangerous creatures or animals of any sort. As far as weather is concerned, the modules are designed to withstand Cat 5 storms, but those, obviously, as far as meteorology is concerned, you know about those. There's constant monitoring of weather in Vanuatu, so you'll get plenty of heads up if one does happen. Apart from that, that's it. There is no tidal waves around the island. The water around it is way too deep. It's just not. It just doesn't have enough shallowness to develop. So, for example, the Tongan tsunami, we just got a couple of really bad wakes on the island. There was no issues. And yeah, so we're designing. So again, to answer your question directly, is we're designing for that environment. So the design, the way the development is planned out, is to deal with any of the issues that do occur in Vanuatu.
So, and I realized that the modules and what people were staying on and any of the infrastructure. I mean, you guys are certainly like building that beforehand. But what kind of time frame are you looking at? Because even if the modules are already built and you can just ship them there, things still just take a long time. I mean, like how many years are you looking at until this is to a point where it's like how it should be?
It's a great question, and the reason it's a great question is because I know that you're already keen to buy some land and build a house. So thank you very much for that question. And the way it's going to work, it's so for us to prepare the modules will take about 4 to 6 months. So from the time that the modules are ordered to the time that they arrive on the island is going to be about 4 to 6 months. So what we're going to do during this 4 to 6 months is prepare the land. So one stage of the land at the time. So first we're going to start with South Wing. We're going to prepare the land. We're going to build all our infrastructure, get our electricity grid ready to go, prepare all our sewage systems and water connections. And this should be done in about same time frame. So about 4 or 5 months it's going to take us for us to do that. So essentially, as soon as the modules also about the modules, right? So they're constructed and put together in a factory, but when they arrive to Vanuatu, it takes only 1 day to install them into place. So as they arrive, because it does take them to come, to Vanuatu 4 to 6 months from Hong Kong, the land is going to be prepared, ready to go for you. So essentially, each package that we release, as far as modular ordering is concerned, when it arrives from that date that you order it, it arrives on the island in 6 months' time, the land will be ready for it and it will simply be dropped in place, installed in a day's time, and ready for you to live in. We are expecting the first phase of the project to be complete under a year, which means that obviously our own accommodation as well. So, so we want to invite people as quick as the next couple of months when the country reopens to come visit. Of course, those are going to be just a select few because we haven't got much accommodation available right now. The first phase we're looking to have completed in about a year's time. And then, and obviously each phase is going to follow after. And our estimate that the entire development completion is going to be done within 3 years.
Okay. Okay. Well, that sounds like an interesting time frame. It's just always tough with the NFT spaces because, so many people want things just like now, now, now. And sometimes it's hard to like,
Absolutely,
keep people
absolutely.
happy.
But this is exactly. So what we're thinking about that to keep everybody happy to make sure that they don't go Wen Island is to open it up. The country reopens on the 1st of July, which means it's going to be quite easy for you to get here. At the moment, it's a little bit of a pain with COVID. We're going to just open up, we'll open the island up for short stay accommodation, and just going to, obviously do like a raffle system where people are going to be able to come to the island and check out the space.
So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of my next question was gonna be to wonder about that. Is there gonna be kind of a thing for people who held the NFT for, like we're actually diamond handed it? Will they get a chance to come and get like kind of an exclusive, walkthrough and, like a little bit of like a,
I
a
think it would
royal
be fair.
treatment? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be fair to firstly go to those who are holding the most amount of NFTs and
Mm-hmm.
then trickle it down the line. Obviously, those who have the most will have the first dips at being invited as a VIP and to check out the island. And yeah, I think it's a great system for us to go do it like that, and then obviously go down the line because it is, or maybe do like a half-half. Maybe a couple can be the top holders and then some can be, because we wanted to try to give everybody equal opportunity, even though, some might hold more than others. But yeah, it's definitely something that we will discuss with the community, what they think about it, how they feel about it, and we'll go with the decision that we make together as a community in total, not just a team on their own.
Yeah, this is just so fascinating, honestly. Everything, like, there's just so many, like, my normal AMAs, I have certain questions that I kind of like branch off, and this is like completely a whole different story. Some people are curious, where's the water coming from?
We have a huge natural water source under the island, and also there's a lot of unpolluted fresh rainwater that's getting collected as well. So copious amount of water available, huge natural source under the island, impossible to run out.
Hmm. And then, so like the NFT, does it acts as like a land deed? Will there ever be like a physical version? Because it's kind of like a weird thing, if someone connects.
It's going to be Yeah,
I was gonna
it's going to
say,
be it's going to have a
like if you get
legal.
scammed or like you get hacked or something, then you lose your NFT, and then it's
Yeah.
just like your like $90,000 place is just like gone.
That's a great point. That's a great point, and that's exactly what will happen. And the great point you bring up, because what we did, because we thought of that, and we're like, well, that's going to absolutely suck if someone gets hacked and loses their whole home, because they won't have access to it. So we introduced advanced NFT security. In summary, what that means is that nobody can make a transaction without your approval from a secondary wallet. So it's called trustees. So you set up another 2 or 3 trustees, which can be your own other secret wallet that you have somewhere, or maybe one of your friends' wallet. And the transaction, when it comes to Satoshi Island NFTs, if somebody hacks into your wallet, they will not be able to transfer that without an approval of almost like a 2FA, without an approval of a trustee.
Okay.
Furthermore, we also have this thing that's called beneficiary. Or what that means is if you lose access to your wallet, and so nobody hacks it, but you lose access to your wallet. You lost it, you lost your key phrases, whatever happened, or maybe unfortunately you passed away. Beneficiary set up, and if you don't check in, so you obviously assign the beneficiary, whatever the wallet address you want the beneficiary to be. It could be your significant other, it could be whatever it may be, your best friend. If you don't sign off on a transaction when prompted, and obviously you have time to do that, it's not an issue, or you can actually go in there and manually prompt the transaction. Over a certain period of time that you set, that NFT will automatically be transferred to your beneficiary.
Hmm. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense for sure. Let's see what else. If we got any more questions in chat, I know everyone's kind of piling on some questions here. Gajira. So like, what, like the the actual mint opened up on the 4th, correct? And it's been going on. So how does that work? Is it
We had
possible for people
not
in
at
here
all,
to
not
get
at all. We had
whitelisted?
yeah. Yeah, so we had a lot of issues. We're trying to so we kind of went into a little bit of a panic mode because of this market situation, and so all that information is outdated. We haven't released our land NFTs yet. We're keeping it back. We just want to make sure that obviously we continue to promote and give it a little bit more exposure to Satoshi Island. We will be releasing information as far as making offers for land NFTs concerned very soon. Our whitelist allocations we can still discuss. We can still definitely, whoever I need to speak to. I'm pretty sure the Gojira have some whitelist opportunities anyway, right? But basically, what's going to happen is you make the offer. Everyone is going to be open for anybody to make an offer. To make an offer to buy land. Anybody's going to be open to. But what we're going to do, as in the back end, is we're going to firstly accept whitelisted offers, and then secondly, we'll accept all public wallets offers. So it is still very important to get an opportunity to get onto a whitelist, and we will discuss after the MA. We'll discuss. I'm pretty sure we've given you guys an allocation. We'll discuss if there's something that you guys might need to increase, because we did increase the supply. So original whitelist allocation was against 5,620 NFTs. We did increase the supply to include the entire island to 21,000 NFTs, which means that I do have some more whitelist allocations to buy land, and we can discuss that after the MA.
All right, awesome. I think I'm getting kind of through these questions mostly, but someone was, well, I guess, looked at, earthquakes that were happening in Vanuatu, and it says there's been over 10 magnitude 7 earthquakes in the past 30 years. What kind of things are protections? I know that you said the modules were made to withstand like a Category 5 storm, like, tropical storm or whatnot, but, what about, keeping people safe and protected from earthquakes?
Yeah, so the modular houses themselves are super high tech, but the installation methods are still traditional installation methods that have been used in Vanuatu for hundreds of years to prevent obviously situations like that, and that's to do with anchoring them into the ground and having those anchors flexible on rubbers, etc. So yes, we are building to accommodate any of the volcanic activities and earthquakes, and designing the island to make sure that the community is as it's at its safest. And we're completely aware of all the geological situations that happen in Vanuatu and building accordingly.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's definitely interesting as someone who actually went and found out when all the earthquakes have happened and all that stuff. But it's definitely something to think about. It's hard for someone like myself.
Of course, of course. I had a little one yesterday, and it was just a little bit of a shake. You know what I mean? So we're aware that it happens. Like I said, we've got people on the ground who've been in Vanuatu for tens, for decades, and they understand how things work. They understand how things are built, and obviously so Daniel, for example, and obviously James Law himself has done a lot of discussions with with the local developers and with people who have built here. He's got lots of connections, and yeah, of course, our utmost priority is keeping communities safe, and that's how the development is going to be designed around.
I think you said this a little bit earlier, but like the square footage of each land NFT is equal
Yeah,
to.
18 meters. Yeah, so 10 land NFTs gives you a full block of 18 meters by 20 meters.
Okay, cool. I mean, is there anything else you want to like kind of talk about? I've gone through like you've been a champion
Yeah,
out
no,
here
it's
and answered a bunch of the
yeah,
questions. So
great questions, great information, very good to hear. That's basically an indication that people understand the seriousness of our project. So it's really good to hear, really good to be part of. All I want to say is that this is the community hub for all communities in space, right? This is our vision, this is our dream. We've been working on this for 5 years. We have no issues with the questions, any of the questions, but everyone has to understand that we have looked at every single scenario that you can possibly think of, and if there was one scenario that we were not able to solve, we would not go ahead with this project. So all the, more than happy to always hear people's questions, how the water is going to be, how the electricity is set up, etc., etc. Always happy to answer. But yeah, 5 years in the making. Everything has been looked over once, twice, three times, and now we're ready to go.
I mean, quite amazing stuff. I'm not gonna lie. If anyone else has any last minute questions, feel free. We're actually going up onto the 1 hour marker, which is, I'd say, is a pretty good little natural stopping point for AMAs for the attention span of the normal NFT goer. But feel free to add anything else if we're having a good discussion. I don't ever want to limit it, but this has been very, very interesting. So I want to make sure that everyone gets all their questions answered. But like I said, I've been filtering in probably 5, 10 of my own questions while trying to weave in some of the questions that people were asking, throughout in the voice chat channel, and it's all been good stuff. I've learned a lot. I hope everyone else has learned a lot, and um, I appreciate you for coming out here, taking time out of your busy schedule. Everyone here at the Gajira fam is very, very, very appreciative, and yeah, we look forward to seeing how this all works out. And I'm really, really,
Yeah, it's
really
it's my
curious.
pleasure. Yeah, yeah, great.
Gonna be good stuff. All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll talk soon. Okay.
My pleasure. I love your community. Thank you so much for having me.
Alrighty. Lighters.